What's up, everybody? Welcome to Podcast Now. I'm Alex, and in this video, I want to go over a rumor, leak, whatever you want to consider it. Microsoft will potentially be partnering with SEGA and with Konami in order to make exclusive games, in order to get the game on Game Pass, along with a lot of other stuff. So I do want to say, the person that sent this to me, I do want to give him credit, Kevin Rosato over on Twitter. He did say that it may have been debunked. Some of the tweets actually were deleted. He took screenshots and he found it somehow and he gave it to me. So again, I do want to thank him. And also, you got to take it with a grain of salt. These are all things you got to take with a grain of salt, especially when certain tweets in the thread, I don't know which ones, but certain tweets have been deleted. So maybe that hurts the credibility, which I do honestly think it does, but it's definitely something I do want to talk about. Now, before I get too far into it, make sure, as always, you guys are subscribed, bell icon turned on, and, like him, if you guys ever see anything you want to send me, I'm very active on Twitter. Podcast Now 15 is my Twitter handle. Make sure you guys are following me over there. I try to respond as much as possible, and if you send me stuff like this, I give you guys a shout out in these videos. Okay, I think this was the first thing that was said. This comes from White Report. I'd like to add a couple more details from the original thread. Now, again, I don't know what the original thread was. Xbox would have access to the intellectual properties and creative heads of SEGA and Konami. SEGA would keep its Pachinko division, as it is now a separate entity from its game development division. Konami has allegedly also had conversations with Sony regarding a partnership of similar fashion. Take this with a grain of salt, though the original poster states he believes the seriousness of his source. He also reiterates nothing is neither confirmed nor set in stone. And I guess the other one, or maybe this is the beginning of it, there was this guy, Jose Man FF, and he has a whole thread. I think this is the thread he's talking about, and it's in Spanish. And so this White Report says, rumor, Microsoft in talks with SEGA and Konami to partner with Xbox game studios in Japan for the development of exclusive games, ? The thread is in Spanish, but the original poster claims to have a source close to Windows Central that told him all this. So it doesn't seem as serious as it may originally look, okay? It could be maybe they're looking to only do things in Japan. Microsoft is actually, for whatever reason, very interested in expanding things in Japan. I don't think this is like a localization thing where they're going to work with them specifically just to make Japanese games that are going to stay in Japan. I think, honestly, what it sounds like is very, very similar. And like he says, actually, this White Report says the same thing. It does sound very similar to what we've heard of Sony. The rumor going back, honestly, at this point, years, Sony and Konami, is they had worked out a deal. If you believe this, they had worked out a deal for Silent Hill where Sony basically buys, or I would say rents it. They rent the property or the IP from Konami. Konami takes that money that Sony gives them. They also, Konami will make money from the sales of the game, and Sony will develop a Silent Hill game. So you have to kind of buy the rights to use the tagline, okay, Silent Hill. You got to buy the rights to make the game. You make it on your own. It's all your own development costs, and you have to pay Konami, and they get part of the piece of the pie once the game starts selling. Honestly, it's a very good deal for Konami, right? They have a couple franchises, Metal Gear, Silent Hill, that work really, really well, and if publishers come up to them to ask them, it seems like they're willing to do it. So that's been the rumor for a while from Sony, and again, right now, it sounds a lot like it's the same thing for Microsoft, and maybe Microsoft is going to them and saying, hey, we'd like to work with you, or we'd like to not even work with you, we'd like to rent out, basically, this franchise of yours. Again, take our money. However, it seems like SEGA is also part of the deal. So SEGA, remember, SEGA has been a rumor with Microsoft for a long, long time. A lot of people, going back to the Bethesda thing when they bought Bethesda, a lot of people thought SEGA would be next, that they would just outright buy them. Maybe that's not the case. Maybe that, and now again, he even flat out kind of admits that it's not set in stone. It's not necessarily going to happen. So maybe there's ongoing discussions. Maybe there's things Microsoft's doing where they're like, hey, under these circumstances, we'll buy you. We'll just outright buy you out. We'll take you in, and you'll be part of our division. Or they say, well, if you don't want to be bought or whatever, that's fine. Can we license some games? Can we have you do maybe exclusive deals with us? You can make other games that are multi-platform. Like if you want to make a Sonic game and you want to make that on all consoles, you can do that. But maybe you make a specific game specifically for us. Again, like both of those seem to be on the table. The Konami thing's funny because it seems, I wonder if they're fighting for the same thing. Also, if this rumor is true, I do think that probably hurts the Silent Hill thing, because rumor has it Sony has Bluepoint, the makers of Demon Souls and Shadow of the Colossus, the remakes of those, that they're working on a Metal Gear, remake. So in order to do that, that is already reserved. Then you have Silent Hill, which was already rumored a long time ago to be with Sony. So, like, is Microsoft going after? Because those are, I would say, those are the two biggest things that Konami has right now. Does Microsoft go after thing number 3, thing number 4? Are they talking about Silent Hill and Metal Gear? Because if they are, that means that there's no way Sony's making it right now. You know what I mean? So if those rumors were true that Sony is making, say, a Silent Hill remake, well, then how could Microsoft be talking to them about, say, a Silent Hill or a reboot? Let's say, I don't want to say remake, or reboot. Then how can Microsoft be doing the same thing? So it does honestly throw a couple things up in the air where it's like, oh dear, right? Like, is Sony actually doing these things with them? Is there almost a bidding war going on with Konami? I think the Konami one is more interesting. The Sega one, again, we've heard rumors before Microsoft could buy them. Again, this is maybe, okay, we'll buy you, or maybe we'll license you out to us, however you want to think about it. But the Konami thing is like, okay, Sony and Microsoft are both like attacking, like every day there's just a phone call from the other one to Konami headquarters, right? And they're like, okay, and it's whoever puts in the Konami code first probably gets the prize. But it's very interesting. It's very interesting. I know maybe this channel leans a little bit more PlayStation. Microsoft obviously is a big player in the console wars, if you want to call it that, or just in games in general. Obviously, Konami or Sega doing a licensing kind of thing with them to make it exclusive would be a big deal no matter what. Obviously, Bethesda was a huge deal. I would argue Bethesda is a bigger deal than Konami and Sega, probably even combined. But still, those are two bigger, publishers out there in the world, Konami and Sega, and if they're bought up or reserved, or however you want to think about it, by somebody else, whether it's Sony or Microsoft, that is definitely a pretty big deal. So let me know, guys, in the comments below, what do you think? What do you think's going on? Do you think Microsoft is going to buy them, kind of do like a renting thing of their properties? Do you think that means that Sony isn't doing stuff with them? Let me know. As always, make sure you guys are subscribed, bell icon turned on. Again, if you guys want to follow me over on Twitter, would love to have you. Podcast Now 15 is my Twitter handle. Thank you all so much for watching. I really do appreciate it. I hope to see you all on the next video.